Hello there, I'm Damien, host of the Way Off Show, and welcome to the first ever Way Off Show. I know what you're thinking, Damien, why'd you start another show? Because I want to talk more in depth about certain things, like video games, so that's what this show's about. Video games and video games only. Why? Well, because video games are becoming more and more of a platform that people can go and experience groundbreaking things, like stories, art, music, anything, really. There's also multiplayer, which is amazing, too. So, what am I going to talk about this week on the Way Off Show? Well, I think the best thing ever, or the thing that could be one of the best video games of all time, if done well. Star Wars Battlefront 3. I have Star Wars Battlefront here. I own 2 on PC, so sorry. So, why Star Wars Battlefront 3? Well, Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2 were kind of lackluster. So, what can they improve to make 3 better? Well, let's start off with just campaign, because campaign's a big deal. For me, at least. First off, they could improve the writing a lot. Like, Battlefront 2's campaign wasn't great to me. That's just me, personally. If you love it, you're entitled to that. You can love whatever you want. If you love it, go right ahead. I just think the writing could have been a lot better. I feel, if anything, DICE should take inspiration from their former games, which now includes Battlefield 1 and Bad Company 1 and 2, and even maybe Hardline a bit. The writing in those games was a lot better. Yes, Battlefield 1 was not the typical campaign where it's like 4 stories broken up, but that's okay. They could still do something like that, but it could be more. I would like a Bad Company for the Rebels, if that makes any sense. If you've played Bad Company 1 or 2, here are the posters. Bad Company 1 or 2, that's the perfect example. They could have better characters, so just that goes really well with the writing. And then the runtime. So Battlefront 2 EA was 5 to 7 hours at most, and that was hard difficulties, I'd assume, and finding all the collectibles. It took me like 4 on normal with all the collectibles. So what do I think 3 should be? I think it should be probably 10 to 15 hours. I know that seems like a big difference, which it is, but at the same time, if they're getting the ability from Lucasfilm to make a story that is a big deal in Star Wars, that's canon now, which is the only time that anybody is allowed to, I'm guessing, other than Marvel, which is owned by Disney also. So, they're the only company not owned by Disney allowed to make a story that's in Star Wars continuity. So, make it 10 to 15 hours long. It'd be amazing. So let's continue with the multiplayer, where they can improve the gunplay. I know what you're going to ask. What's the gunplay, Damien? Well, gunplay is like how the guns perform. How do you feel they perform? I felt in 1 and 2 they performed pretty well, but they could still improve. I'm looking at Counter-Strike. The guns play amazing. There's more skill to it, but, Battlefield is another example. I get that they don't really have bullet drop or anything like that because, well, it's lasers. But, just an idea. Improve the map design because, well, to be honest, the map design in Battlefront 1 and 2 were good, but they could be a lot better. There were iconic places, yes, but certain iconic things that didn't exist in certain places. The example I go to, because I did not play much of 2's multiplayer, I played the campaign mainly. I go to the Cloud City map most of the time, and I just think, where's the carbon freezing chamber? So, improve map selection. There were some great maps, though, in Battlefront 1 and 2. These are the EA ones. So, why not just take all the maps from 1 and 2 and put them in 3? Make 3 like the greatest of all of it, I feel, would be a great idea. Take all the game modes from those 2 also, put them in there. Perfect. Then also, add new maps, and then remaster some old maps from like Battlefront 1 and 2 from 2004 and 2005. That'd be a cool experience in my opinion. I'd love to play the Coruscant map on Frostbite. Looking great at 4K resolution? Yeah, who wouldn't? I'd be happy to play it. So, then going to redesign the progression. Make it more like Battlefield, because the progression system is behind loot boxes, which EA, really? I get that they want to sell loot boxes, which is why my next point will tell why they can still do loot boxes, but for the progression, for 1 and 2, 1 was super grinding, where you had to grind to get to anything you want, and then 2 was just, well, loot boxes. Buy loot boxes and you'll get better, which sucks because you'd put hours and hours into the game, and you would maybe have as much as someone who spent more money in the game. So, loot boxes, what should they do? They should be cosmetic only, not to level up anything, just cosmetics. Like the first game had cosmetics, the second game did not. Well, it did kind of, but not many. So, just take cosmetics from the first game and the second game and put them in 3 and make them loot box availabilities. I'd even buy loot boxes for some of this stuff. So, what do you think that they could do for Battlefront 3? These are my opinions, once again. If you love Battlefront 1 and 2, more power to you. But, what do you think they could do? Tell me in the comments below. So, don't forget to watch the Far Off Show on Friday at 11 p.m. And as always, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And have a far off night.